Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
I came in understanding that I came from a place where I didn't have that much knowledge. I didn't get that much knowledge. Like I came from an area of life where I wasn't available to those resources as much as I thought, right? And I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn as much as I could. Anywhere where I felt like I could learn something more than before, I just went right into it. And that's what I wanted. Like understanding that I have a year in this program to be to have the opportunity to just meet these executives that no one in my family, no one in my hometown has ever got to meet, and see how they perform and see what they do and just learn. It's like Candyland to me. I was freaking like just amazed and so happy.
Okay. So you had the motivation and you had the second ingredient, you had the hunger.
Exactly.
You had the drive to go for it, because there have been times that I have been motivated to try something new, but I've never had the hunger to continue it after I got to the first hiccup. You had the hunger to continue hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. And I'm calling it a hiccup because that's all that it really is. It's just a little blip in the road on the whole scheme of things.
Yeah, I failed so much in that program. Like it was like this. I actually failed my like speaking test.
Really?
You have to give you have to do a tour. Like as a page, if you ever watch 30 Rock, you actually have to give tours.
Okay.
And give tours of the studios. It's a great way to train speakers because you're having somebody come in and talk to a group of people that probably do want to know about what you're doing, but not really. They just want to be in the studios. So you have to get their attention. It is a great module. I failed that test. That's like one of the first tests you get at NBC Universal as a page, and I failed it. That was, yeah. Funny enough, I don't think I ever I ever passed it. I just kept getting assignments.
And that's funny because you've done how many speaking things since then, on how many stages with how many people?
Right. 15,000 people, one speaking engagement on Les Brown's platform. Prior to that, I was teaching kids. Like it is really like one of those things where, yeah, you fail forward. That was the perfect module to fail as much as freaking possible, because I was able to learn from my mistakes just as fast. And that was important because I need to be able to do that anywhere.
Yeah. And that's amazing that you were given those opportunities and that you, like I said, you had the motivation and you had the hunger. I'm getting there. I'm still testing the waters, so to speak, on what it is that I truly want to do in the world with this whole entrepreneurship and stuff. I am still trying a little bit of this, trying a little bit of this, trying a little bit of that. And what I'm finding is that I actually now have a mentor that is not speaking at me, but is actually speaking to me. And that is something that everything that this person says just like resonates with me now. And I could be in the middle of giving a presentation and get choked up on the realization as to, oh my God, the possibilities are unlimited. And I broke down crying in the middle of the presentation. And I had two choices. I could turn off my camera, turn off my mic, and sit in the corner, curled up in a ball and cry. Or I could say, I just need a moment because this is really hitting me here in the heart. Take a deep breath and proceed with tears in my voice. And that's what I chose to do because I remembered what he had said about when you hear yourself say something negative about yourself, knock it out of the park, going, gone, evicted from your brain and replace it with something more empowering. And, you experienced this a whole lot younger with everything that you thankfully were exposed to. You know, I'm in my mid 40s, early to mid 40s. I'm not quite that old yet. And, you know, I'm just now learning these, and it's a very exciting time. So I appreciate you sharing with me, you know, everything that you went through with that and the amazing people that you met and the nuances that you learned and how everything just seems to be shed in a new light now because of what you shared.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you listening. I think
I'm done blowing
understand
smoke.
you're not blowing smoke. You that see did you hear the thank you.
I know. I joke about blowing smoke, but no, I'm 100% accurate on this because and honest about this because when you take the time to actually listen and see and watch the person who's speaking, you can see through all the smoke. And yeah, honey, there's no way they could think that you were blowing smoke. I might tease you about it, but no, there was no smoke.
Thank you. And it was funny. Somebody told me about a person that they thought was conducting this huge accolade, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't want to say exact names, but like for instance, essentially this person had the purview and understanding that the person taking all the action was the reason behind behind this big accolade.
Okay.
Right.
When you could say we'll say John Doe, Mary Smith.
All right. John Doe had a support that has
person.
that has done his job before.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to call one person Niagara.
Okay.
Because it's the water bottle in front of me. Why are we using Niagara? Niagara.
Niagara Falls was what I was thinking, but okay.
Yep. Niagara Falls. That's the first and last name, Niagara Falls. That's hilarious. And then the other person's name. What's another two word monument? Niagara Falls and
Mount Rushmore.
Thank you. That was exactly what I was actually thinking. That's trippy. Niagara Falls and Mount Rushmore. Right. These two were together on.
They were working as partners. Okay.
They were working as partners to accumulate a certain amount of sales.
Okay.
Right. Niagara Falls was seen doing a lot of work on the sales.
Okay.
But Mount Rushmore, who has done this before, by the way, Mount Rushmore wasn't seen in doing all the action, but he was doing something else.
Okay. So not being visibly active, but was apparently doing something that was leading towards the sales.
Without what he did, this person wouldn't have done the sales.
Okay. So in this case, sticking with the names, Mount Rushmore was bringing the leads, and Niagara Falls was closing.
Not even closing them. He was also the battery.
Okay.
He was the battery of energy, encouraging, inspiring, helping breakthrough, supporting Niagara Falls.
Okay.
If Mount Rushmore didn't give any of that support, encouragement, etc. to Niagara Falls wouldn't have made those sales.
Understandable. I can follow that logic.
Right. So I've seen Niagara Falls on a stage, and I saw him speak.
Okay.
Right. Now let's look at when I saw Mount Rushmore speak. I was like, he's the reason behind the sales. You can see it, you can feel it, and you can hear it in the way somebody speaks on a stage. When they're giving sincere compliment, or just acting from a place of sincerity, right?
Right.
And you can feel the energy of how intent they're bringing in this vision, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking that it's, you know, the actors on the stage are the ones that get the credit, but it really is the tech crew, the stage hands, the orchestra, the conductor, the director. It's everyone else who supports the actors being fantastic on stage.
Exactly. And the funny thing about that is like a really good executive knows, or anyone like executive, etc. Any good leader understands that they need a fucking phenomenal director,
Yeah.
right? Or inspirer, either or.
A director, inspirer, their first follower.
Yep, either
The person who's going to be right there, you know, maybe one step behind them, helping provide that motivation, that push to keep their drive going.
exactly that supporter who's also doing it too, right? Like because they're
Right,
also
they're doing
leading
the
as
same
well.
thing. Mm-hmm.
That was it. And I remember watching this. I remember seeing the first person on the stage on Niagara Falls speak, and I was like, "Ooh, he hasn't made the mistakes yet.
Ah,
He doesn't have the he's not. You can feel it, right? When you make those mistakes and you know how to resolve them, that's when you have true confidence wherever you go."
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That does make sense.
Mount Rushmore did, and I could see it in the stage presence.
That has to be in my mind, that has to be empowering to be able to see the person who has quote unquote done it, but didn't struggle to get there versus the one who's done it and did struggle. You know, if I had to choose which one I was going to hire to be my mentor, I want the one that's already struggled because they know how to
Exactly.
overcome the challenges that I am sure are going to come into my path.
Exactly. And it was interesting because so Mount Rushmore got promoted to a very high level. Like he
Awesome.
skipped like three rungs of level,
Ooh, big jump. Okay.
right? Because he did that. I'm sorry, Niagara Falls, we're not sure where he's going yet.
Okay.
But right, but the thing is like because I know that like people were surprised because they were like, wait, we didn't see the I'm like, you didn't see it there.
People were surprised they didn't see it coming, but that's only because they didn't know what to look for.
Exactly. They didn't see exactly what he's done before.
Mm,
They
big
didn't
difference.
see, yep, they didn't see that like this is something that I just know just based off of like understanding when you get to a specific level, the calm and the presence that somebody has when they're on a stage doesn't come from just winging it. Like
Yeah.
you, you've,
It's
yeah,
it's a learned skill that is hard earned.
yeah, and you have to be confident with what you're saying. Like the fact of the
Yeah.
matter is, like you have to mention if you're saying something on a stage. But yeah, so that was really interesting and fun to watch because like I remember somebody like just giving me the, but I saw this person do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, yeah, they did that, but did you listen to how they talked about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm like beating a horse, like a dead horse, but it's just so like blowing smoke up somebody's ass. Ding ding.
I can see that now where that ties back in because you have the Niagara Falls who was, you know, doing the job with the support from Mount Rush. I love these names, by the way. I love how we're
These are
calling
great.
people by
Monument. Yeah.
geographic locations and monuments.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
but really with the support that they had, whether or not they acknowledged Mount Rushmore, I don't think would have made any difference at all in that point because they hadn't had the struggle themselves.
And Mount Rushmore, like they've had the struggle. They not only have they
Yeah.
had the struggle, it was like I always, this is something that I know, just coming from an understanding. You can't do anything alone. You
Oh,
can,
amen.
but yeah, you can, but like, will it be good?
Will you get there in any reasonable amount of time if you do it by yourself? Probably not.
No,
Things
but
get done more quickly when you have somebody with you to support you and to help motivate you and to
the
help keep
right
you
one
inspired.
and the right person. Like Katie,
Yes.
do you know how many people it took for me to get to this point with you where I feel like, oh, you should see Katie and I when we're done with the show. Like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like yesterday, we knew exactly what to do, where to put things together, how to collaborate, where the responsibilities went. I really think that our interview guest was really surprised
I
because
think we completely caught them off guard, but that's okay.
that's okay. We're in sync. Like we know how to work together, right? Not everyone has that, and that's very hard to find.
But I also think that that's a skill that can be learned.
It can be learned, but it's also it takes the right person and it takes the right, yeah. Like for instance, I don't know, Katie, what are this is giving Katie the spotlight to not blow smoke up my, but give me like actual characteristics when it comes to us working together. What are you appreciative and like happy to pair with your skills?
One of the things that I absolutely count on is the fact that you know how to talk from a stage.
Oh.
You've been there, you've done that. My expertise is this podcast, being interviewed on other podcasts, and improving when a guest didn't show up on summits. It was not a planned talk. It wasn't based off of any expertise that I had. It was me quoting things I had heard. And I don't want to be that kind of speaker. And I know that working with you, I am learning these skills on how to pull the nuggets out of things I've already experienced and turn them into nuggets that other people want to learn and how to express that.
Thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome. And I know that's not what you were expecting either.
I love it. I love it. I do appreciate that. Yeah, with Katie, the fact that you get me. Oh my goodness. Like understanding that you don't like I feel safe to be with you. You accept me for who I am.
Absolutely.
I don't feel judged when I go into conviction mode. Like when I feel like, no, this is what we should be doing, this is how we should do it. Like I understand that like you're not talking crap about me after I do it.
Okay. Yes, and anybody who does that, shame on them.
I wish that was more commonly understood.
I mean, because I know that you know things that I don't. I know
and vice
that.
versa.
I mean, I know that, and as I think it's absolutely hysterical. I consider you one of my mentors, and you're younger than I am.
I'm honored. Thank you.
The age of the mentor doesn't matter. It really, truly is. If the mentor can inspire you to be better, to be a better version of yourself, then they're the right mentor for you. If you're just paying a mentor and you feel like you're being attacked by a bully every time you talk to them, stop paying that mentor. It's not worth it.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Yeah,
You're
I love
welcome,
that
darling.
you're saying.
And you know this is all coming from my heart and everything, because you and I met in complete circumstance at a networking event. And there was just that click. We didn't know what was going to happen, but we knew something was going to happen, that some way you and I were going to work together. And the fact that it turned out to be this podcast, and yes, I know all the back end part of it because of everything that I've done for my mom's business and for the Teen Suicide Prevention Society and everything else like that. I didn't want to do a podcast because I didn't feel like I could speak in a way that was inspiring to other people. Working with you, I am being asked to interview more often.
I love it. Yes, we love
Like,
this.
you
Yeah.
know, I did one last night. I've got another one coming up next week, and I've been invited to speak on 3 summits coming up as well. And I'm like, oh, Ace, we might need to practice.
Yay! Thank you so much, Katie, by the way. Like, so Katie, oh, thank you. Oh,
You're
that makes me
welcome,
so
darling.
happy. Yeah, and like, all right, so there's some weird culture thing about like not being able to celebrate each other's achievements. And I am so happy to hear that. I am so happy. I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm just,
You
just to know that I was a part of that. Like I'm very happy
and
about
it's
that.
making me more excited to see you so happy about it. And it's it's like I got my little personal cheerleader going, yay, good job,
Oh, yay. Yeah. Like I don't usually wave this fast. I'm like,
jazz hands, jazz hands, jazz hands.
because the fact that you're winning means that we're getting like I feel like I'm actually contributing to that, and that's
Oh,
so
you
wonderful to
are.
hear. Yeah,
I truly
thank
believe
you.
that you are, because I don't think that I would be as clear expressing what I'm so passionate about without all of the episodes that we've done and all of the conversations that we've had, and just being comfortable being me talking about things that are important to me.
I love that. Yeah, I think. See, this was something that I actually like had a paid service for, and I'm probably bringing it back now because
Right?
Katie, you're expressing this. So what I used to do was like I did help people speak. I knew how to sit with somebody, go through their speech, and then kind of curate the time to breathe, like the time to
Mm,
express from a certain place. Um, Sometimes we would rewrite the speech, but not really often.
right?
Um, and if people wanted to be more natural, this is actually what we call a like a PR consultant on interviews.
Okay.
I used to do that, and like it was very simple. It was like 4.97 an hour. Of course, this means like you have a big audience. Like it's not like
Right.
something where, yeah, like if you're investing in a consultant like me for that, that is because you're probably speaking to more than 1,000 people and you're getting paid the right amount of money for the
Mm-hmm.
speaking engagement. Um, Especially when it was like for big causes, like when it came to diversity and inclusion, rallies,
Right.
etc.
And that makes perfect sense. I mean, my mom has a TEDx talk, and she had a coach to help her write her script, figure out when to breathe, figure out when to add emotion, when to subtract the emotion, when to walk from this side of the red dot to that side of the red dot, kind of deal. So for something as important as a TED talk or a TEDx talk or an action talk, I completely understand why someone would want to hire a coach. I'm not there yet, but I know that it's coming.
Well, the thing for you is you don't like
I
what
don't
we're
need it,
doing together.
actually.
That's why. That is exactly why. Like with what we're doing, as we're doing it frequently, you're going to be fun for any stage. Like that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't have a drive to do something like that, because I'd much rather, what I'm sensing, and my guides are talking in the back of my brain right now. What I'm
Yeah.
sensing is that I don't need to have that kind of tag hooked to my
Mm-mm.
belt, that kind of medal on my chest or anything else like that. I don't
Well,
need to have that kind of as seen on TV stamp for
no,
what it is that I talk about.
yeah, for the right, like, look, for the
And I don't
right.
know what I talk about. I talk about a little bit of everything, because we cover all topics on this show.
Well, yeah, it's great practice. Like prior to this, I would do lives. I think I told you
Right.
with Isaac Singleton Jr. And he knew both of us were like, no, I need practice. Like I want to just talk on a stage, and this is
Mhm.
practice, right? Um, that practice builds. So the fact that I've been practicing since I was 12, with anyone and everyone. I didn't care if it was seen, not seen, if it was with Andy Serkis. By the way, Andy Serkis is amazing, and I still have that interview on my phone.
Awesome.
It was right. That was actually the very first Netflix movie that went out in theaters. Before it was like this Gambit. Yeah, it was Mowgli. It was before like there was this kind of fun little Monopoly thing going on where Netflix was these incredible releases, and they were getting awards for the releases, but they weren't playing the game. They weren't playing nice in the sandbox with the theaters.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
I remember that.
Yep. People knew about it. Then Steven Spielberg stepped in and it was like, what the heck, man? Like, you're not in theaters. What is this? Because of that, Mowgli was released both in theaters and on streaming. And I remember speaking directly to Andy Serkis about this on the red carpet, and he gives me this download, and I register this because I'm already from media, and everyone who's interviewing, I'm noticing people on this red carpet interviewing, and I'm like, oh, you guys don't know about this. Like it was just, it was such breaking news. It was such breaking news. I was still shocked by the fact that nobody else captured that. So I used to do a lot of philanthropic journalism. And then because I knew what I was doing on red carpets, the celebrity blog that I was writing for, again, for practice, sent me to all these like Netflix releases because they didn't trust anyone else to do the interviews. And I was like, okay, fine. It was funnier when they sent me to like the Latin Music Awards, and I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. I look tan. What do you?
But still, it was practice, and that's all that matters.
They were happy that I was able to supervise the journalist on the red carpet who could actually speak Spanish. But yeah, it was great. She interviewed Bad Bunny and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But that was practice.
And I really think that we just have to remember that everything in life is practice.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you. I think of it as practice. And I honestly think that is the most humble place you can come from.
Yeah.
Where you're not blowing smoke up someone's ass. Just, we gotta, by the way, when we edit this, Nicole is an amazing producer. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing with us.
Yes. Thank you, darling. We love you.
Yes. Could you put like a funny sound over that? Yes, feel free to include that. I just this is why we love her. Thank you.
Why do you think I was saying blowing smoke up the skirt?
Yep. Yeah. And I couldn't keep doing it. It was just funnier.
I know.
On that note, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. From a place of understanding, encouragement, and helping somebody continue their learning journey, that is how you actually, in my opinion, give somebody a true compliment that empowers them. Feeding their ego with some type of not genuine compliment.
Yeah, don't fill them up with sugar. They're gonna burn right through it, and they're gonna fall asleep. Not worth it.
And get diabetes. Come on, let's not do that. Like, let's
just give them all kinds of physical ailments with bad compliments.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to come from a place of genuine sincerity, genuine appreciation, genuine gratitude. Otherwise,
don't say, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Yes.
Thank you, Thumper.
Everyone. Thank you, Thumper. Yes, we're bringing it all back.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a wonderful week. Enjoy. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.